Hello and welcome to a documentary length video. I've got a ton of anomalies to show you in this video, folks. So get your popcorn and your favorite soda, relax and check these out. We're down at Noachis Terra in the southern mid-latitudes of Mars at a new site just south of Yaonis Regio. As always, I'll include the link to the original source material in the description below. The high-rise photograph in this one is called Transverse Dunes, acquired on the 16th of December 2020, and although it was photographed at 25.2 centimeters per pixel, the image breaks up terribly when you zoom in on the artifacts. But it's clear enough for you to get an idea of the geometry, shape and symmetry of these anomalies. I'll be showing you images cropped from the JP2 black and white map projected file, just over 600 megabytes in size. There's a look at the low-res black and white, and the anomalies we'll be checking out are some of these white specks littering this terrain in between the dune fields as well as in these open clear areas. Check out the camera defects, guys. I really struggled to bring out the detail, had to adjust the contrast and brightness quite a bit. So the site's located right there, folks, just south of Yaonis Regio in Noachis Terra, southern mid-latitudes of Mars. And at the time of this video, the high-rise photograph had not been loaded to Google Earth Mars yet. To start with, we're looking at strange hexagonal shaped objects. Here's one that's about 15 meters long. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4 of the sides. It looks like this one side on the right is possibly broken off. There might be a piece of it right there to the right hand side. And then, as customary, we've got a flat surface on the top with a smaller object right there in the center. It looks like this was a carved out area in the shape of a triangle. Right, then we're looking at a six-sided object mounted to this piece. That whole part there's about 18 meters long. Looks like this larger piece is a half a disc shaped anomaly again, folks. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides on that object. It's got a small protrusion or knob there close to its center. And then at the top here, it looks like a rectangular slab, maybe even sheet metal again, who knows, partially covered in sand and dust. We've got another multiple-sided object there. This one's about 10 meters across. Lying on top of it, we've got this strange, almost rectangular object. But check this out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides to that object. And then here we've got what looks like a square raised area on a disc-shaped object. This is about 12 meters across, and I really struggled with the contrast here, folks. This looks like another disc-shaped object. There's the square area. It seems to be carved onto that, and we've got smaller objects arranged around it. And there we're looking at the similarity between these folks. These two are in Protrusions mensae. Check out the perfect symmetry and geometry to this object. It also seems to have a uniform thickness to it. And then this multiple-sided object, also symmetry and geometry going on there, folks. Then we're looking at these strange rectangular objects with small parts in their centers. This one's about 12 meters long, and it looks like this one side is at an angle almost like a ramp onto this rectangular object, and we've seen some of these in Antarctica as well. We'll check those out in a moment. There's another one very similar in size and shape, covered in sand and dust, and this really breaks up badly, folks. You can see over there is a smaller object in the center casting that shadow. There's another similar one in the top left of this photograph. It's about the same size, a little bit wider perhaps. Get these straight edges and right angles again. A small object in the center. We've even got a piece sticking off the side here at 90 degrees. And there's another similar object there, guys, about the same size and shape. This one's got a rounded part at the top. Seems to be lying on top of another uniform part underneath. Look at that uniform thickness to these objects. And then there's this round dome-shaped object right there in its center. And there they are for comparison. Check out the similarity in size and shape. And then, as customary, the smaller parts in the centers. And these are the ones down in McMurdo, about the same size and shape. They've also got smaller parts or objects in their centers. Also, it looks like these could be like platforms with smaller objects parked on the top to get them elevated above the snow. Who knows what's going on there? And then these are other examples I found on Mars as well. Check out the rectangular part there on top, very similar to this one. And then these over here are comparatively very similar. Also looks like a ramp onto that block, same as over here. And these protrusions on these blocks also remind me of those that we found down in Peru. Check out the megaliths over there, folks. These are also huge. They've got these small protrusions or knobs on them. Is there a possible link to ancient civilizations that lived here on Earth and Mars and left these strange blocks and megaliths behind? We can only speculate, right? And there's another strange rectangular part. This one's got rounded corners. It's about 12 meters long, and it's also got a small object in its center. We're looking at these rectangular parts. This one over here to the left is about 15 meters long. Check out the straight edges and right angles to these. This one's got rounded corners. Also, we have small objects on the top of these. Strange, looks like sculpted part on the top of that block. There's also a very strange alignment of three small objects here next to each other, spaced equally apart, parallel with this one side. So could this have been some type of structure that was devastated? There's so many anomalies in this one, guys. I do encourage you to check out this JP2 if you get a chance. Just remember, you need to download HiView to view this JP2. There's another rectangular part, about 6 by 6 meters in size, straight edges, right angles to it, and on top of it, right there in its center, we've got that rectangular part. Strange, thin, narrow part over here. That there's about 14 meters long. It also has straight edges and right angles to it. Looks almost like sheet metal, very thin. from the edge over here. I can only deduce that that there might be a rather thin object, maybe a slab, who knows. Another right-angled object over here. So, just briefly, there they are for you to compare again. Definitely doesn't look like natural boulders or rocks to me, folks. And then we've got these long, narrow blocks. This one over here is about 12 meters long. Very thin, narrow block. Very similar to those that we find here on Earth. Got the uniform width and thickness to that block. So I have right angles to it. And there's another one, same size and shape. And they remind me of the two megalithic blocks that we get down in Baalbek, Lebanon. These are about 20 meters long and about 4.5 by 4.5 meters in size. Check out the similarity. Okay, then we're looking at small square objects. This one over here is about 5 by 5 meters in size. And it's got a small spherical object right there in its center. There's another one, a little bit bigger perhaps, and also straight edges, right angles, and a small part object right there in its center. Another object with a small part in its center. This one's about 8 meters across. Looks like this is hollowed out on the top, and a small spherical object in its center. Another square item over there, folks, about 6 by 6 meters in size, and in the center of this one side on the top we've got that small protrusion or knob. Another square object, 6 by 6, approximately meters in size, small part on the top. And there they are, just for comparison. And again, these remind me of the blocks that we get down in Peru. Strange pumpkin seed shaped object there, guys. Found lots of these on Mars. This object over here is about 12 meters long. Check at the symmetry and geometry going on here. Small rectangular block lying on the top. There's another one, same size and shape. Also, we've got symmetry and geometry going on here. Now we've got two similar ones. These are at a site east of Euripus Mons. Also, we've got the same sort of shape and design. Now we can see only the point sticking out. Also, we have a rectangular object lying on the top of this one. Reminds me of what's going on there. Right, then we're looking at a strange disc mounted to that larger object. This one over here is about 6 meters in diameter, and it's got a small part on the top. Check out the rounded sort of sleeve or collar, skirt, I don't know what to call it, around this disc. Follows the same arc. And then we've got others. These are also in a site close to Yaonis Regio. Here we've got two very similar ones pointing in roughly the same direction. Then we've got these two disc-shaped objects, the small parts in their centers, right next to one another. How's that? Pointing in the same sort of general direction. And these are all in the same photograph. So what is it with this Yaonis Regio region and these strange disc-shaped objects? When we're looking at structured items, this here looks like a building of sorts. I don't know. Check that out. It's about 20 meters across. It's got this dome-shaped object on the top, small part on top of that, and then again a rounded sort of skirt area around it. We're looking at another what looks like structured item there, about the same size. It's got like a disc shape to it, a rectangular part on top, and in the center of that we've got another smaller rectangular area as well. Now check out these straight edges, right angles to that. Even seems as if there might be a bevel on this one side. Now what's going on there? And there they are to compare. So what are the odds of a six-sided object mounted to partial disc-shaped object occurring naturally in nature? We've got a square raised part in the center of that, and then what's going on here? Right, then we're looking at strange disc-shaped objects. This one over here is about 15 meters in diameter, and it's got what looks like, it reminds me of a wind trap. It's like a rounded object on the top. Maybe it could even be a hatch, who knows? We're looking at that smaller item there, about 10 meters across. Also appears to be a disc-shaped object. It's got another part next to it following the same arc, and then that there in the center. Again, it looks like a hatch or some rounded shell-shaped object on the top. And there's another disc on top of this triangular object. This piece here is about 10 meters long. Get the symmetry going on here. Strange part lying on the top, running through the center, and then this looks like another disc-shaped object on the top. Or could this be a vent with this thing sticking out? And then look at the right angles going on here. And there they are for comparison. Rather strange. We're looking at smaller triangular parts on top of larger objects. This piece over here is about 14 meters long, and we've got a little triangle on the center, and that I've seen so often on Mars as well. There's another small triangle on that part. This piece here is about 12 meters long, and there we can see another smaller triangle on top of it. Strange block over here too, and that almost looks like another triangle. It's got a rounded edge though. And yes, some others. I found this one in Argaya Valley. Check out the strange triangle there. Another triangular object here, and I discovered this near Euripus Mons. Might even be an opening over there, folks. But check this out, another almost pumpkin seed shaped object there. It's even in the shape of an eye. And that wouldn't surprise me because I found a huge structure that looks like the Eye of Horus on Mars as well. And then look at the object or base this is attached to. It's got like a rounded part there, straight edges, and then it's got this strange shape at the back, coming up to a point there. Smaller parts lying on top, looks like a chevron shaped piece there, and then it's got small similar objects arranged around it. Right, there's that chevron shaped piece I was talking about. It's about 6 meters long, and it's on top of this right angled piece there. The rounded part here on the side, and then this is lying on top of it parallel with this one side. Right, let's head on down to that site close to Yaonis Regio. Right there, guys. Yaonis Regio is over here, about 100 kilometers to the north. Just briefly have a look at those anomalies again. This is one I didn't include in the video. There's a couple here that I added that weren't featured in the video. There's another triangle on top of that. There's also one I didn't have in the video. There's another one. I've got a small sphere on the top of that. Similarity in size and shape there. There's another one I didn't include in the video. It's got a small disc or dome shaped object there on its top. Cleared out area around the surface. Multiple layers in this part. Check that out. Two protrusions on that part, very similar to those blocks I showed you in Peru. Lots of them have got two protrusions on them, or knobs. Right, let's have a look at some of the other anomalies close by. This is Pi, a circular depression to the west. Found lots of these look like metallic debris or wreckage. Look away, these things are bent. This one's got a strange part on top of it. And there's also lots of these blocks with these engravings and bevels on them. I haven't included them all over here in this preview. Let's go to the east of that site. Check out the alignment of those four similar objects there. Look at the spacing between them. And this one's off at 90 degrees to that there, just parallel to that one side. Strange dome-shaped object with a small little triangle on top of it. Another dome-shaped object. This one's got a strange bevel on the one side. Another little triangle. This one's in the center. Another triangle, guys. Very similar in size and shape to those I showed you. On this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided object. It's rounded at the back, and it's got like a triangular point on this side. Check out that block. And another triangular part on a similar shaped object, rounded part there at the top. This one's flat on this one side. And then further to the east we've got what looks like an analog of the face in Sardinia. There's the so-called face in Sardinia, and then I found this. It's got a rather strange shape as well, very similar to this. Check that out, guys. Also has like this skirt around it, dome shaped. Could this be an incomplete face, or was this face in Sardinia similar to this dome shape and it eroded away? Who knows what's going on there? Let's have a look at this site here to the southwest. This is where I found those strange discs. That's it for this documentary length video, guys and girls. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a huge thumbs up. Much appreciated. Let's have a chat down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think of these similarities and strange geometric and symmetrical objects. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers for now.